Well, folks, this is what we might call a home buck, close to home. I think the video will show you, he came in, stopped. I was thinking he might be taking a right and departing, but he didn't. You know, what do you say we have a little segment on campfire cooking now? Right over there, I've got a campfire going and the embers are getting right to make some shepherd's pie.
It's got to be a grave of some sort.
Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We're so glad you tuned in to join us for another exciting real-world outdoor adventure right here on A Sportsman's Life.
There he is.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Well, folks, this is what we might call a home buck, close to home. I think the video will show you, he came in, stopped. I was thinking he might be taking a right and departing, but he didn't. Good, healthy deer. Just a really pretty buck. Gonna make some really good venison, which is important to me. So I guess it's about time to get the skinning knife out. Very proud of this rascal. I'm still a little pumped, folks. Still just a bit excited. But he's a good one. I'm sure proud of him. Didn't have to travel far from home to get him either. Well, friends, this is after the fact. We're going to dub this in. My buddy Kenneth, you saw the 10-point in this show that I got. Nice deer. Here's one Kenneth's been looking for, right, buddy?
I've been waiting on this buck for a little while.
You've been hunting him hard.
I have.
Let's show those horns off. Poke him on up there. Folks, here's a big old
Palmated horns.
palmated on that both sides, isn't it?
Both sides. You don't have any teeth to speak of.
Yeah.
So he was
He is a good, what you call a home buck, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Took a few days, but I got him.
Yep. And a pretty good long shot too, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's a pretty good shot. 275.
Oh yeah. But Kenneth, my buddy here, is a shooter. Y'all know that. You seen him shoot a cow back out, not too far from here, back in on another show. Kenneth, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, mate.
This is just so cool. I was tickled for you to be with me when I got my 10-point, but I don't.
Hey,
this is something else, man.
extra meat. We got extra meat
We
this
got
year.
other meat.
Yes, we do.
Folks, that kind of wraps it up, so thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Brought to you by Dallas Safari Club, Conservation, Education, and Hunter Advocacy. Hornaday, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus Firearms, maker of the Raging Hunter. Trigicon, brilliant aiming solutions.
Hi folks, it's your old buddy Luke Clayton. What do you say we have a little segment on campfire cooking now? Right over there, I've got a campfire going and the embers are getting right to make some shepherd's pie. So let's jump right into the shepherd's pie. It's real easy. I think a lot of people actually make too big a deal out of this cooking over wood. It's really simple. The main thing you have to remember, you don't have a knob to turn like a dial on a stove. You have to shift your wood around and get it the right temperature. So let's make us some good old shepherd's pie, which is a great camp dish, by the way. Okay friends, you see how easy this Dutch kettle cooking is? Really, there's not a lot to it. You might notice I've got a little south wind right now. Most of that heat is going over to the side of the fire. So just scoot your pot over. It'd be just like on an oven or a stove in the house. Cut your heat down. Except on a cooking over wood fire, you don't have a dial to turn. But our pork, it's really lean pork. It's well done. The onions are translucent. Now the next thing we're going to do is add the vegetables. Carrots. You can put whatever your peas in there, beans, any kind of vegetables that you like, and you can cook them on the side. But since we've got a one pot meal, I don't like to mess up a lot of different pots or utensils when I'm cooking out on the campfire. What we're going to do is put our vegetables right in here with this meat that's already done. So let's do that, and then we'll take a look. Folks, here's our vegetables. You can just chop up whatever type vegetables you like. Some of these are fresh and some are out of a can. Now, you need to thicken it up just a little bit. We're going to put a little bit of, probably 2 or 3 tablespoons of flour in there. And as everything, when you add things, you stir it. You want to stir that flour. That'll kind of bind it together, thicken it up a little bit. I think we need a little bit more flour, so let's add a little bit more. There. Now then. So we'll thicken this up. These vegetables are almost done. And pretty soon we'll be ready to put our mashed potato topping on this. Well, friends, our vegetables are done in with the meat. We're just about ready to put our topping of mashed potatoes on. If you look at our embers, our coals, they are just, the timing is perfect. They're going to be ready to put on top of that Dutch kettle in just a second. So let's put our topping on next. Well friends, for shepherd's pie, you obviously need some mashed potatoes. You probably don't need to watch me make mashed potatoes. Make you some mashed potatoes, salt and pepper them to your taste. I like to add a little garlic powder, maybe a little onion powder, because remember, this is going to be the crust or the top to your shepherd's pie once it spends about 20 minutes in that Dutch kettle. So mashed potatoes, a key ingredient. You need to get those ready before you start cooking your shepherd's pie. Okay friends, mashed potatoes are ready to go. It gets pretty simple from here out. Take your mashed potatoes. Now down here we've got our vegetables and meat all cooked down. I mean, that's good to eat just like that. But let's put our mashed potatoes over, just make a few little piles of them. And we're going to smooth these out. So you got seasoned mashed potatoes on top of your shepherd's pie. Now let me get over here and let's start kind of leveling these out. Not rocket science, just kind of smooth everything out. I'm just using a basic old spatula. So it's all smoothed out like that. I like to make a few ridges in it. Just kind of ruffle the top up a little bit. Kind of makes it look a little better when it cooks. Now, we've got our coals over there ready. Give you a good look here. Pretty simple. Let me smooth it up a little bit since I'm showing all of you my best, one of my best recipes. Smooth that up. Kind of push it down on the sides. That's it. I mean, at camp, shepherd's pie, pretty tasty. Now, let's put these coals on top, and mostly on top. The bottom underneath here is already cooked, all the ingredients, but the top, we want to brown those mashed potatoes. So let's get some coals on it and get it going. Well friends, I set the the Dutch kettle down on the ground, and I've got a circle of coals around it and under it, but the majority of the coals are on top because, like I say, we want to bake that from the top down. So give it about 20 minutes max, and I think we will have some finished shepherd's pie. Okay, I've been testing by smell. It's been cooking about 25 minutes. You probably laugh when you say testing by smell rather than timing it. I can tell that steam coming out that those potatoes are just about golden brown on top. I'm going to give it 2 more minutes, then we're going to pop the top on this thing and look at the finished product. Well, folks, here is the finished product, our shepherd's pie. You can see it's a golden brown on top. We're going to break into this and spoon out a little bit in a minute, but we had some, actually I had some mashed potatoes left over. I could not resist some what we used to call potato patties when I was a kid. But this is some cheddar cheese mixed with the mashed potatoes, basically a little extra garlic, some salt and pepper. And I rolled these in egg, beat up a couple of eggs, rolled them in that, and then put some flour on them and fried them. Potato patties, they go pretty dang well with the shepherd's pie. So let's cut into this pie and see what it looks like. We might even have to eat a little bit of it right now while it's good and hot. Let's see here. See that topping of potato there? There's those vegetables down in there. Oh yeah, folks. What I'm talking about, it's time for old Luke to have a little lunch. I wish you were here with me.
What do you think it is?
It's got to be a grave of some sort or something. Maybe a marker many years ago, because all the rocks are about the same size. There's no other rocks around here other than down in the river, so they must have been carried up. This washed rocks to right here and they piled up.
And I know nobody's done any excavating.
No.
With that, I mean, I know that for a fact.
No, there's no excavating that's been done here. It starts about right here and goes up. So it's got to be either maybe going back to the days of the Comanche, or maybe the buffalo hunters were here, because they're always got to hunt very heavy with buffalo. We're not that far away from Fort Griffin. And back in the heyday in Fort Griffin, they'd ship as many as 50,000 buffalo hides out of there. So I'm not sure. This is interesting though. You almost want to dig into it, but at the same time, out of respect, if it is a grave, you want to leave it alone too. That's one of the absolute beauties of hunting and hunting different countries. Coming out here, we've been driving by this thing. You can't really see it most of the time simply because of vegetation, but with winter setting on, fall, all of a sudden now you can see it and you go, what in the world is that pile of rocks? Interesting.
Well, and it also helps that it's got a pretty view down there behind you.
Beautiful.
We'll have to get Jeff and Luke down here and do some catfishing.
Oh my gosh.
Because I know this thing is loaded with some big channel cat.
My big channel cat. Probably big old yellow cats in this thing
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Maybe some blue cats.
Well, like I said, I was telling you down there by the bend, and then the second bend on the other side, they pulled out plenty of 40 and 50 pounders.
Can you imagine? I've caught those kind of blue cats on rod and reels, and I think it would be an absolutely for real to try to catch one of them here too. We'll do that a little bit later.
Yeah, we get done with hunting season, and before it gets too terribly hot, and we got to worry about rattlesnakes, and we all come down here and do some catfishing. Looks like it gets fairly deep right here too.
There's a good hole here. There's a good hole in the bend. There's a pretty good stretch of water back behind here, and a lot of times those catfish like to hang around that riffraff like right there. So
And there's a couple bends.
yes, sir.
Sportsman's Life is also made possible by Air Force Air Guns, AGM Global Vision, H3 Whitetail Solutions, and Pyramid Air.
Hello sports fans, Bill Carey with Striper Express with your fishing tip on A Sportsman's Life. For about 30 years we've been offering a complimentary tournament style weigh-in for our groups of 12 and up. We specialize in groups. I do this 3, 4, 5 times a week. We make a big deal out of it. We take your logo and we put it across this photo paper. Striped Bass Fishing Tournament, Lake Texoma, Texas. #1 striper lake in the USA. First place, name, date, and weight. Second place and third place. So we start at third place and we holler for Joe Smith, come on up. You won third place. We give him a certificate and we give him a hunting knife. And he gets the infamous Striper Express Shut Up and Fish t-shirt. A lot of companies sweeten the pie with the prizes, and then we do second place and the knives just get bigger. That is second place. And then of course, when we get to first place, the official blessing. On behalf of the fishing gods of Lake Texoma, you've been deemed the best darn fisherman today. Way to go. Joe Smith, first place, 13 pounds, 4 ounces. And then Joe comes up, they get bigger. First place. And this is a big hit. They get a t-shirt, knife, something you can hang in your office or your man cave. And the bar's been set, that's who you got to beat to knock them off. So I just show you, been doing that for 30 plus years. It's a big hit. We have a lot of fun, and so does everybody else. So, this is Bill Carey with Striper Express on A Sportsman's Life. Go catch a fish.
Conservation Today is brought to you by Hayden Outdoors Real Estate, the brand that sells the land. Visit HaydenOutdoors.com to find or sell your farm, ranch, or recreational property.
Well, as much as we like to use this for predator control, sometimes it's not the only tool that we have in our box. To be honest with you, I think you have to be very diverse when it comes to monitoring predators. And when I say predators, I'm not always just talking about coyotes. You know, when it comes to raccoons, there's multiple traps. We particularly love these, especially in Texas, around feed stations. But you know, we've put them around food plots. We've put them around water holes. We've put them around fish feeders. You know, we do the live trapping as well. But with coyotes, because they're constantly coming and going, you know, you have the option for the paw traps, and then you also have the snares. We run those on trees. We run them on T-posts. We run them on fence lines. We run them on barbed wire. And so keep these things in your toolbox when it comes to predator management. It's extremely important in all management plans.
There's more to just heading to the deer stand each fall to try and bag a big buck. On a recent hunt, I had to stop and just take in the beauty of the fall colors. As the leaves begin to die off and the acorns, persimmons, and pine cones start to hit the forest floor, I can't help but to take the time to capture this on film. It's a magical time of year, with temperatures beginning to drop and the days becoming shorter. I find it to be the best time of the year to get out and explore nature. After a good long stroll through the woods, it's time to grab my gear and head out to the deer stand. Once there, I will continue to take in all that Mother Nature has to offer.
Folks, thanks so much for joining us. This segment of our show is brought to us by Gearhead Archery, Snaplock Hunting Blinds, Smoking Texas Electric Smokers, TRHP Outdoors, Ultramatic Feeders, and Catfish Pro Catfish Bait and Catfishing Supplies. Make sure and tune in next week. We'll have another exciting show ready to go for you.